Hello and welcome. I'm going to be not too long on here today because I do have the astrology, not the astrology class. I have I have the karmic release workshop. So, but I wanted to come in and give you the 411 on today. It's kind of like give you a heads up. Good morning, Dana. Um, it is energies extremely. They're extremely intense. Yeah, extremely intense. We do have that Mars, going and making aspects to Neptune. We have the Pluto opposition with Mars is easing up. But as it's pulling away there could be something that's coming. Something is coming up. And the moon is in Taurus. It's not a dark moon as yet. The dark moon won't be coming on till later on tonight. And then we go into the balsamic phase of the moon. So there is this overindulgence energy that's there, that people might be overindulging in things, or they might be taking things to the extreme, and the energy is being taken to the extreme. But with that, I did pull out the Empress card today. That was the first card I pulled out. And I thought that was interesting because that really went with the energies of extreme and having extreme energies, because the Empress can be, it's Venus. Venus is in Cancer, and she wants to feel good. And there's this lusciousness that comes in with that. And there could be an overindulgence. And with that energy, meaning that you could have, sometimes when we do, when there is overindulgence, or people are overdoing something, may hurt somebody else, or you're taking away from somebody else because you feel it's all yours. It's like, the image of Garfield going trick-or-treating, and he's going, candy, 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 I love candy. That overindulgence of too much of a good thing. And that's where some of this might come in, too much of a good thing. Or people think that they're just doing, they're on this high, and this highs, is slowly starting to break away, or the energies around that is breaking away. And a lot is coming to the surface. So we have all of this surface energy and we're seeing it, but there's so much underneath that is breaking away. So even with the Empress card, it's like people trying to hold up the facade, or hold up, look at this, or trying to make sure that they still look good, even though it's not, or there's other things that aren't around. Oh, see, the Two of Cups can reverse. So the Two of Cups reversed. So something isn't as it seems. Something isn't there, and it's emotional, and it's between you and somebody else. Or, Two of Cups is also what kind of, what are you coming together with? Who are you coming together with? And when it's reversed, it's, the cups are emptying out. There's false truths that are coming in. So false truths in order to keep a narrative going, or order to keep something going. So you might find that information will come today and over the weekend that you aren't expecting, or you thought it would be one way and it's not. And then there's an eruption, there's an explosion with it. So I feel like there's going to be some explosions happening this weekend, whether it is on the scene, the cosmic scene. There's some, there was things that were mentioned the other day that, because they want to do an investigation with China, the Wuhan, and then the first thing that was mentioned was nuclear. So there's an explosion there, nuclear explosion, or something that is like saying, you can't do it because I'm going to do this to you. So there's that real underhandedness that is there too with the energies. So the energies are we're in, like, this month, June, is very extreme. And with building up to that new moon that's coming up next Wednesday, it is it is this buildup of energies of maybe we're going to see it all, maybe we're not, maybe not all the truths are going to be coming out. It's interesting because the Empress and the party girls come out, but there's something missing with all of this. So maybe there is too much. I just feel like the Empress and the party girls. So I think there's a lot of overindulgent energy and something's going to get messed up. Like there's a lot of stuff that is coming out and that is being revealed to us right now that is messed up. I mean, here in Canada, the whole residential schools and that information about that all coming forward, finding out that the Prime Minister just finally releasing money that's been there for people from the residential survivors of the residential school, and for finding out more information. Like it's been sitting there. It's like, what the fuck? This is where we're finding that there's a lot of underhandedness at play. And maybe there's a re-examination of your own life of what is that underhandedness maybe within your own self. Let's go personal, or with people around you. Is there somebody doing something underhanded around you, or maybe you're witnessing it with others? So just being aware, and especially with Mercury retrograde, it's best to don't dick around. Don't dick around with Mercury retrograde in Gemini. That is not the energy to sort of try and dupe somebody or play somebody over. This is not the time. This is a time to come into your own divineness and your energy of the divine. So we get the Lover card too. So there is that fine tuning of coming into our truth of who we are and allowing our light to shine. And even when we hear something that maybe we're not expecting, to really, we got to really, like, it's almost like cut, clear, delete. We got to really take a step back, because there is that explosive energy that is in the air today that could cause some crazy energies, could cause you to get extremely angry, upset, emotional, because it isn't what you expected, or you are very mad at about a situation or a person because there has been some overindulgence or deceit that's been happening there. But underneath there is this defragmentation, defrag with it. And the star comes in and it's reversed. So we got some major arcanas that are coming in. And that star reversed, I mean, that's after the Tower card. So maybe we haven't cleared out all the debris that we need to clear out in order for us to be able to celebrate and embrace the truth of our abundance, in order for us to shine. Is there something more that we need to clear out? This is really spring cleaning and doing the spring cleaning and what needs to be cleaned out. The dolphin is there with it too. So there's healing that needs to be done on so many levels. And we're in, I do feel like we're in some sort of a tipping energy of some big radical changes that are going to be coming forward, especially within this month and going into July. So there is some huge transformations that are going to be happening. And with those transformations, there's going to be more information that's going to come out. Now, I know a lot of people right now in Canada, it's all about the residential schools, but we also have to look at what else is going on. What else is what else is happening? Because it's taking away from other important aspects and information that people need to receive. And I know people don't want to be looking at things like the vaccine. What are the repercussions of the vaccine? What are the repercussions? And a lot of people are saying, oh, they're nothing. But it just, with the whole thing with China and with COVID, and, when I said last year it was man-made, it is man-made. I no doubt in my mind that it's man-made. If it's man-made, then what is this vaccine? Now, the other part too, and this is where a lot of things are going to come into being explosive too. And I've had someone say to me, well, everything's man-made, all virus. And no, it's not. When somebody goes in to manipulate something on purpose, for purpose of control or purpose of controlling a population. Now, if you go back to what's going on with the residential schools, it was to control a population or control a particular people. Here we have, on a global sense, there's something there that is there to control a particular population, to control how people are going to respond and how people are going to react. And this is only the tip of the iceberg of everything that's coming through. It's like, oh, well, we're going to give you a little bit of a tidbit, just a little bit of your freedom so that you feel good. But we got to take the examples from that of what has happened in the past so that we can really look at what we are being manipulated at and what is being thrown at us. And yes, that makes us angry or mad, but this is where that maybe that overindulgence and that partying comes in. It is definitely there because people are wanting to escape. This is too much information. This is too much for me to handle. It's very Neptunian. Although and with Jupiter there, it's just going to expand it. It's just going to expand that crazy energy, that manipulation of everything. But on the other part of Neptune is going and seeking to the higher part of ourselves, going and seeking that higher part of our divineness, and recognizing that we need some healing done, and that we need to do the work that we, for our own selves, so that we are able to help others in many ways too. So for today, just letting you know, and this weekend, that you might find that so you're going to see some crazy explosive energy, people doing crazy fucked up shit. Drive carefully. Remember other people out there. Like, you might be feeling fine, but somebody in the next car doesn't like what you do. I mean, crazy things. Crazy. I mean, just the other day, there was an accident here in Calgary, and going around one of the circles, and the guy didn't even slow down. The person was sort of merging out, and this person sort of T-boned him. And then a baseball bat came out, and just like, that's the kind of craziness that's out there right now. So honor yourself and be careful, right? People are acting fucked up, and there's because of all the emotion that's out there. And things are coming out, and people are on the move, and people are coming, and first maybe they haven't been outside for a while, and so a lot of people who are starting to mingle with other people. So this is all just coming in, and as I said, it's the pimple busting time, and there's going to be a lot of bursting with this, right? Avoid the need for a blood transfusion. Yeah, that's interesting, and for them. But see, we're not hearing that. We're not hearing about those debates that are going on. We're not hearing about all of the what's coming up in Congress in the United States, of how many deaths and heart attacks since the vaccine has been rolled up. It's higher than usual. And some of the heart attacks are being dismissed. Oh, he just had a heart attack. And they find that the person had a clot, like a blood clot, which was formed. So this is, it's interesting. It's very vampire-ish. So that of the vampire, very vampire-ish, of the whole thing. And the whole information about Fauci is going to be interesting, and how that's going to be carried out, and the information that's going to come out about that, and how much influence Canada had in that too. So Canada, I mean, all the major countries had a play in it. So there's something there's a couple scenarios that have been going, or that they've been showing me through my head, through my visions. That's what I say, through my head, that I know there's something that's crazy that's going to happen at the summit. Something's going to happen with that summit. That's happening with Putin and Biden. So there's something, and somebody's going to get blamed for. I'm not too sure, but there's something there that's going to come in. Reporting going to Congress from the military UFO sightings, 121. Yeah, and that report's coming out because that was one of the things that Trump signed for everything to start coming out. That, I mean, I gotta say, I mean, come on, people, they've been here. I've seen UFOs right over my house that have come in and disappeared. Quite large ones too. And I've had my kids come out, and I'm like, "Do you see what I'm seeing?" And then and it just disappeared. So UFOs and stuff like that, I mean, they've been here. I mean, for everything that we've done on this planet and everything that we've built on this planet, there's had to be some kind of help. But I think they're showing up more is because we're at a turning point in our global experience, and the turning point is quite a big one that we're going towards. So we're heading towards a huge, big turning point upon the journey and what that's going to look like. So I'm kind of, the other scenario too, and I'm just speaking out loud. It's just with this whole thing with China, that all of the allied countries coming together for yeah, we're all ET, for some kind of global purpose. So because China's getting very powerful and big, but we're not other information that's not coming out about China are the floodings. They've had massive floodings. They do have food shortages there. Same with North Korea, huge food shortages. There's also have been some massive earthquakes that have happened in China. So they've had some real devastative problems of late. So we have all of that. And oh no, it's just my allergies. Haven't taken my allergy medicine today as yet. And there's just this global fight that's going to happen. And I just, it's going to be explosive, but this is, again, this is, truth has to come out, and the truth that's going to come out are going to make a lot of people really angry and mad. Information that's coming out in the States right now about the election, more about the election. There's always stuff about the election and everything else coming out, but it is where we're also coming up to their Pluto return, which is massive change and deconstruction. So massive change and deconstruction for them, for the United States is coming forth. So even though that they are open and they're doing things, there's festivals that are going to be happening. People are already on the road, they're vacationing, and they're going out. So there's, it's going to be, it's just, there's going to be a lot of explosions. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be really fucked up. And we're going to see a lot of it as the coming weeks unfold for us and for the new moon and thereafter. So we're in some rumbly tumbly times for the summer. And then, of course, Jupiter will be going retrograde, and then Neptune will be going retrograde as well. So we're coming into, from, getting things going, fast forward motion, to things really slowing down, new information coming out, new visions coming out, more of the truth is being told. But if you have been working on things in your own life and you've been progressing and going forward, that progression is still going to go forward. That energy is still going to go forward. And you got to trust in that energy of going forward with it all. And continue on your road, continue on the direction that you are going in, right? And that's the biggest piece here. Enjoying the family, enjoying connections, and not getting hung up a lot on things that are going to be out of our control. That's the big part here. There's a lot that's going to be out of our control when it all starts to happen. Some things we just can't control because we're not there. But we signed up to be the light. So stay in your light today. That's what we got to do. So I have to go and get ready for my karmic release workshop that is starting at 10 o'clock. So it's starting in 20 minutes. And I'm going to send you guys out so much love today. Watch the anger within yourself. Watch the anger in other, in others. In my city, lower income areas are still wearing masks in stores, and wealthier neighborhoods have stopped wearing. Thought it was interesting. Yeah, because it's fear, right? It's that fear base. And really spending a lot of fear. Where a lot of the wealthier people, if you looked at it, they didn't give a fuck. Right? You really think our politicians, I mean, there's a picture of the one NDP guy here in Canada getting a ride home by his friend. Neither of them are wearing masks because they're supposed to be wearing masks. They're not from the same household. And then not even keeping a social distance. When they left, he hugged him. So it's like, okay, these people, the elite or the wealthier people, they're not following the rules. They don't give a shit. So that's interesting. That's what I find very interesting. So they obviously know more. They know more. Watching all last, before Biden got in and Trump, this is where you start watching your leaders. Watch your leaders. Trump never wore a mask. Like, he didn't wear a mask till the end and stuff. He came out in April of 2020 saying that there are truths that he can't even say. Like, he was being told not to say anything. And he goes, there's people there. He was basically saying about some people you can't even trust. Like, people will show, eventually the truth will come out. And so a lot of things that he said and people knocked him down for, good. I mean, I know, whatever. A lot of things that he said were the truths. I mean, he's a double Gemini. He's coming up to his birthday. There's a lot of energy coming up onto his son. Man, there's something there that's going to be coming up around Trump within the next week also. And I really feel I can see that happening within his own chart. And also the other weird thing is the thing that's happening with Biden's chart, with the US chart, and JFK. That is interesting too, because some astrologers have been looking at some of the conjunctions that are coming up and that are very similar to when JFK was assassinated. So there's that is very interesting with the scenarios in that. And both JFK and Biden were Catholics. So, and then we're having the big thing about the Catholic Church. So there's a lot. People say, oh, that's not, but you see these things that are unveiling, right? We see these things unveiling, right? Cream always rises to the top. Yes, it does, Lisa. Yes, it does. So there's all of this coming forward. Some people are even suggesting that they don't want Biden to go to the summit because he's not coherent. And some of the things that he says are just, everything has to be totally scripted. And he has to have his so-called, like, his handlers there. But this causes other scenarios that could happen that are very similar to what happened in 1860. So, and Buchanan was not a very nice president either. So, but with what he was wanting to bring forward. So I find it very interesting. Anyways, a little bit of history there. Anyways, I could go on. I can't though, because I got to get going. I'm going to send you guys out. Really, have a fabulous weekend. Yeah, let's just enjoy our day. Have your tea, have your coffee, your water, whatever you're drinking today. And 1860. So all the energies that we are going through right now, a lot of it has to do between 1858 and 1860. 1860 was that was the United States Revolution, the American Revolution. Plus, there were other things that was happening during that time for women's rights, fighting for women's rights. A lot of petitions for women independence and things along that line too. So women's suffrage was starting up during that time. So yeah, lots, history does repeat itself. Release that stuff today. Karmic release, definitely. We will definitely do our best. Have a blessed one, everybody. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.